Hello everyone and welcome to a new IK video. This is Ken from 73 and in this video guys we're gonna talk about hunting more gnomes. I've been killing a lot of gnomes in the recent days. We had the double rewards event and I spent almost more than 100,000 EPs on killing gnomes, and I've ran into an issue and we're gonna talk about this issue in this video, which is the troops count, because I've been killing a lot of gnomes and the losses has been accumulated on me. And this is how my training ground looks like right now. This is very imbalanced. This is terrible training ground to look at. You can see that the shieldman is at 350 and the cavalry is almost 300. The bowman is at 150 only. Well, you know that each and every march has 4 different immortals. The 2 in the back row will always be bowmen. So you need to make sure that your training ground is always at 50% bowman. The bowman should be 50% of your training ground. So my training ground is at 800,000. So I need my bowman to be at least 400,000, and that is at the very least. So I figured something out while killing gnomes to fix this issue using only 2 immortals. I know a lot of people have been running this kind of setup or this kind of build against gnomes, but this is my edition of the build and this is how I'm minimizing my losses when it comes to the bowman right now. So right now, since I'm using only Charles and Alexander in a march and I'm not using any immortals in the back row, this is how the march looks like. I'm only losing cavalries and children at the same time. However, I'm not using any kind of bowman, and if we look at my training ground, I wouldn't really mind losing cavalries and children. I have a lot of those, so it's fine losing any kind of troops, these kind of troops. And this is I ran a raid at 28 raid. The average of the death is around 100 per attack, and sometimes we get reports like this. You can see that in this fight we only got 17 death, 26 seriously wounded, and you can see I'm still using the setup. So these are the skills that I'm using. I'm using Adrenaline Rush, I'm using Wind Rage, I'm using Energy Burst. Basically the same skills that I'm using on Charles, similar to the previous build that I used. And on Alex, I'm using Combo and I'm using Berserk and I'm using Rage Blessing. Rage Blessing just to make sure that Charles casts his skills on time, and just giving me a chance to get a report like this where I didn't lose that much troops. Even if I lost troops, it doesn't really matter. Looking at all, where did I start the raid? Okay, let's get it from here. You can see this is 120, 120 depth, 120, 117, 100, 140, 30, 40, 160, 100, 140, 88, 100, 140, 100. So the average of the losses using this build is around 100 per fight. However, these 100 troops will always be, balanced between shieldmen and cavalry. So you will not lose any kind of bowman, which means that your bowman will start to grow and you will be ready when it comes to either kill events or KVK. So these are the skills that I'm using in this build. You can see I'm using the same skills on Charles as I mentioned, and I'm using these kind of skills. Looking at the reports, I want to look at this one here. And of course, I'm using a fire dragon. I forgot to talk about the dragon. I'm using a fire dragon just because of the damage that comes from the dragon. You can see that the dragon is dealing a lot of damage, 8 million, sometimes more. 9 million point 5 here. Just to make sure that because Alex wouldn't really deal enough damage on time, so this is why I'm using the fire dragon to help Alex with the damage, and that is about it. And here comes the damage from the dragon. You can see that Charles already cast his ultimate skill. This is why I didn't take any damage from the ship. And I honestly wish if I figured this out or used this build previously in the last double rewards event, but again, it doesn't really matter. We don't have a kill event or a KVK, an active KVK that is running at the moment, so I don't really mind losing troops. However, this is how I'm trying to balance out my training ground, trying to reach out my bowmen to be 50% of the training ground one more time. This will be all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and have a wonderful day.